All right, kids. I told you it was going to be a crazy week. Welcome back to another Daily Hawk. This is episode 3 of Daily Hawk just today on Friday, January 24th, and I'm recording this around 5:20 p.m. There's been a lot going on in this bukkake of stupid the first week of the second term of Fat Nixon, Comb Over Caligula, Mango Mussolini, Pervert Hoover, Groper Cleveland, Tangerine Tits. Jesus. I mean, wow. Okay, so apparently last week Donald Trump had a phone call with Denmark's prime minister, said one Danish official. The call was horrendous. He was very firm. It was like a cold shower. Before, it was hard to take him seriously, but I do think he is serious and is potentially very dangerous. He spoke with Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen. She emphasized during the call that the vast Arctic island and autonomous part of the Kingdom of Denmark was not for sale, while noting America's big interest. But according to another European privy to the call, Trump did not care for her answer and had been very aggressive and confrontational following the Danish prime minister's comments that the island was not for sale, yada, yada, yada. Trump's intent was very clear. He wants it. The Danes are now in crisis mode, and they are utterly freaked out by this. I mean, it's just like, John Mulaney did this comedy bit about Trump. He's like, it's like there's a horse loose in a hospital. Nobody knows what the horse is going to do because he's never been inside a hospital before. The horse doesn't know what he's going to do, but it's going to be bad. It's probably going to end at some point, but there's potential for a lot of damage while the horse is loose inside the hospital. That was this. Yeah. ICE agents went to a public school in Chicago, an elementary school. They went to an elementary school with the intent of speaking to students in an elementary school. And the principal said, fuck off, you're not getting in, and denied entry into the elementary school for ICE agents. So good for that principal. Mark Rubio has been sworn in as Secretary of State, and according to a report in the Financial Times, has immediately halted work on all existing foreign aid programs except for Israel. Presumably, this is going to impact military aid to Ukraine at a time when Russia is gaining territory at a faster pace than they have during any point in time during this war. Trump is going to cut back on prosecutions of abortion protesters. Okay. Of course he is. So during the campaign, Trump got shellacked for a couple of months with Project 2025 and his close ties to it. He had to denounce it. He got the main guy at the Heritage Foundation who's in charge of Project 2025 fired. But his early actions this week in his second term pretty much mirror the contents of Project 2025. More than 30 of Trump's 47 initial executive actions as of Thursday afternoon match or are aligned with ideas promoted in Project 2025. So Jon Stewart also has a weekly podcast called The Weekly Show. His guest this week was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And they discussed insider trading in Congress and Democrats. She said there need to be Democrats who walk the walk and talk the talk. There is an insane amount of hypocrisy, and hypocrisy is what gets exploited to use the cynicism and wherever there's a hypocritical window. For example, I think one of the biggest examples of this is insider trading in Congress, and which got Jon Stewart excited. Nancy Pelosi had returns last year of 56%, beating every known investment manager and every hedge fund out there because she had inside information the entire time. Republicans do it too. This is like the one truly bipartisan issue in Congress. Egregious insider trading. She went on to say it's so crazy. I mean, it's like the end of the thing. Like people think that everyday people are stupid, and I'm like, do you really think people don't see this shit? and, and Jon Stewart said, yeah, you guys run the casino. And then we're supposed to act like money only corrupts Republicans, right? She said, give me a fucking break. So a couple days ago, one of the guys from the Pod Save America guys, Tommy Vitor, appeared on Fox News with Jesse Waters and basically convinced his co-hosts that it's time for Democrats to appear on Fox News. He did great against Jesse Waters. He made him look like a moron, and he remained calm, thoughtful, logical during that entire time. He criticized, I'll just read this quote from that appearance from Tommy Vitor. I think Joe Biden's decision to pardon his family sends a terrible message to the world. I think the presidential pardon power is far too expansive. I would love to see Congress come together and pass a constitutional amendment that says you cannot pardon yourself, you cannot pardon your family, you cannot pardon your staff. I think all of your Fox News listeners would support that. Buckle up for this next one. It's going to make you guys cranky. Joe Rogan denies he's a Republican after endorsing Trump. There are a lot of things Democrats believe that I believe too. He said the following on his podcast yesterday. Hi, buddy. Tanner's looking at me. You can come get in the bed. Come here. Come on, come get in the bed. There you go. That's a good boy. You such a good boy. I know, you such a good boy. Joe Rogan said the following. I don't consider myself a Republican. I don't consider myself a Democrat either. I consider myself an American. I'm a human being, and there are a lot of things that Democrats believe that I believe. There are a lot of things they say, and I'm like, that makes a lot of sense to me. And there are a lot of things that Republicans say where I'm like, that makes a lot of sense to me too. And the idea that I have to ignore things that make sense to me because it's coming from the wrong team is just stupid. Rogan attended Donald Trump's inauguration this past Monday and described it as bizarre. Rogan argued anyone totally aligned with a party is doing themselves a cognitive disservice. He said, these are bad faith arguments where you have to have a conversation with someone and pretend that what they're saying is not logical because they're supposed to be your opponent. That to me is just dumb. That doesn't benefit me at all. That doesn't benefit anyone listening at all. It's just stupid. It's a stupid way to think. CNN. They have this guy named Harry Enton. He's their polling guy, an elections guy. He's trying to be CNN's version of Steve Kornacki from MSNBC. He got super excited that Donald Trump is polling higher now than at any point ever, including during this point in 2017. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Okay, this one's also going to make you guys angry, but it's happening. This is from the website The Daily Kos. MAGA commander terminates female Navy pilot's Top Gun application because she's a woman and unveils anti-DEI 10 commandments. A female service member in the Navy who is a fighter pilot applied to Top Gun. Her white male commander gleefully terminated her application for no other reason than her being a female. She wrote the following. He smiled as he spoke to me and then rationalized this decision because women won't even be in combat again, and I should not be taking a male Naviator's place. During an all-hands meeting, this commander also unveiled his anti-DEI 10 commandments as follows. It was presented via a PowerPoint presentation. No more Black History Month. No more Women's History Month. No more Hispanic History Month. No more LGBTQ recognition. 5, no more talk about transsexuals anywhere in the military workplace as, quote, they do not exist any more than leprechauns exist, close quote. Female personnel will participate in, quote, female pursuits only, close quote, for sports teams on his military installation. Female pursuits for female sports include only badminton, bowling, tennis, and golf. Female military personnel will no longer be allowed to participate on installation teams for rugby, basketball, flag football, mixed martial arts. They may run track but not participate in any field events. Number 9, no more holiday parties, as all events will be designated only as Christmas parties during end of the year season. Bible studies in the work, this is the last one, number 10. Bible studies in the workplace are highly encouraged, though no one will be forced to attend, coming from your superior officer, the commander of this military installation. So that's where we're at in the military with anti-DEI. Supreme Court agreed on Friday, according to the Washington Post, to accept a case and hear oral argument out of Oklahoma on a Catholic charter school and allowing them to use public tax dollars to pay for that. Yeah. And we're going to close out this episode with an article that came out today in Rolling Stone. Team Trump says Mark Zuckerberg has, quote, more ass kissing, close quote, to do. At the dawn of the Trump era, Mark Zuckerberg has been busy sucking up to President Trump, who last year threatened him with life in prison. The Meta CEO reportedly promised the administration he won't stand in the way of Trump's immigration crackdowns with Zuckerberg, which he previously opposed. His company announced its end to fact-checking, removed restrictions on hate speech, shoved $1 million into Trump's inaugural efforts, and is also ending all of its DEI programs. And that is still not enough for those in Trump world. Said one senior Trump administration official, there is a lot more ass-kissing that needs to be done. He needs to prove himself. It's a good start, but he can't just snap his fingers and make the past not happen. What happened in the past? Well, what happened in the past was in 2020, Zuckerberg funded election infrastructure, I think at the amount of like $500 million. It was a lot of money. That's what prompted Trump's prison threat. In a coffee table book published in September, Trump wrote that Zuckerberg had steered Facebook against him and schemed, quote, to install lock boxes in a true plot against the president. Lock boxes, the dreaded lock boxes. Trump continued, we are watching him closely, and if he does anything illegal this time, he will spend the rest of his life in prison, as will others who cheat in the 2024 election. Donald Trump put that in a photo book. That was the caption to one of the photos. Yeah. Times have changed. Zuckerberg is now bending the knee. He met with Stephen Miller at Mar-a-Lago, pledged not to obstruct the president's right-wing agenda. Earlier this month, Trump praised Facebook. Honestly, I think they've come a long way, Meta, Facebook, when a reporter asked whether he views Meta's policy changes as a response to his past threat to put Zuckerberg in prison for life. Trump replied, yeah, probably. Oh, man. I love that. I love that so much for Mark Zuckerberg. Fuck you, Zuck. Yeah, so, all right. It's 5:30 p.m. on Friday, January 24th, and that is episode 3 of the Daily Hawk just for today. So hopefully things will calm down in a couple of weeks and everybody's going to have to get into a groove. Congress is going to have to start legislating something at some point. So we'll see how that goes. If you enjoyed this video, please click like, leave a comment, and please subscribe to my page so that hopefully I can quit my day job. Thanks, everybody, for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And I'll have somebody read those. Okay, I'll see you guys later. I hope everybody has a fun and safe weekend. See you guys soon.